Good morning. It's Tuesday today, day 23 of our movement and mindfulness sessions. So next week will be our last one, next Tuesday, December 1st, which feels pretty crazy. I don't know about you, but this month seems to be flying on by. So hopefully you're finding that to be a good thing, getting through this second version of lockdown if you're in this country quite quickly. So today we're going to be using a couple of blocks, or you could use some thick books that are big enough for you to stand on. So you don't want anything that you can crush easily because we're going to be standing on them. And these are probably about, I don't know, 8 to 10 centimeters thick. Together, so maybe finding something like that big, and then we'll use a resistance band as well. So we're just going to actually start seated, and I'm going to start on my mat with my legs out in front of me, just keeping a bent so that I can sit up really nice and tall. And just take a moment, let your feet just kind of settle down in front of you. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can always just have your feet with your feet wherever they're comfortable so that you feel like you're not kind of being too restricted through your hips. And you could just kind of stay here for a while if you needed to. Just take a couple of breaths and really start to ground down through your sitting bones into the floor beneath you as you're breathing in. Just feel like you can kind of start to widen and spread yourself onto the mat and just settle your thoughts. Just let yourself arrive here in this space, breathing. Seeing if we can start to just come into that three-dimensional breath. Morning rot. So we're breathing in firstly into the front of the body, trying to get the oxygen all the way down into the bottom of the ribs, bottom of the lungs. Exhaling to just allow all that oxygen to escape. We'll take 2 more breaths into the front of the body. So this is where we live most of our lives. This is where we like to hang out. So this should feel not too challenging this morning. And then start to breathe into the sides of the body. So now we're kind of thinking, we're breathing into the armpits. You could even expand your elbows out to the side a bit and feel like you could really allow that to open up and happen. Imagine your rib cage being like little bucket handles being picked up from the side as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, they just drop back down. We'll do 2 more breaths into the sides of the body. And then we'll try to breathe into the back of the body. So it might just help to kind of give yourself a little tap back there into your lower ribs. You'll know you're in the right place if you can hear this little vibration happening because you're onto the diaphragm, which makes that noise. So give yourself a few little taps back there and then see if you can really start to breathe into the back of the body. Maybe you'll grow a little bit taller as you're breathing into the back of the body. You're really grounding down so that you can grow up a little bit taller. 2 more breaths into the back of the body. And then try to breathe into all sides to make that breath really 3-dimensional. So front, sides, and back of body. Imagining that you're filling your bucket up from the bottom all the way up to the top when you breathe in. And then as you exhale, you're pouring the water out from the top of the bucket. So a bucket doesn't just have one side, it has all those round sides 3-dimensionally. So really imagine that you're filling up your bucket. 2 more breaths three-dimensionally. And then go ahead and find your resistance band. You're going to take it and place it around the bottom of your feet. So if you rest it into kind of the arches of the feet, it's kind of a good place to hold your band so that you don't lose it. You're going to take your hands and hold on just near to where the knees are and start to, well, actually, you could probably hold on just a little bit farther down, maybe halfway to the calves, so that you can let your arms really straighten out, but still have a little resistance. And then as you breathe in, you're just going to start to slide your shoulder blades together. And then exhale to release them. So notice that my arms aren't bending as I breathe in to slide the shoulder blades. You can imagine that you are trying to squeeze a pencil together between your shoulder blades. So you're going to try to pinch and hold that pencil, and then you could release it. So the shoulder blades are sliding, they're gliding together, and then releasing. Notice your tendency, whether you want to try to move your head out of the way or still really sitting tall and grounded into those sitting bones as you slide together and apart with the shoulder blades. Notice if you want to try to pop your rib cage out, that's another thing that tends to happen here. See if you can keep the torso really nice and stable and still and tall as you're just moving your arms by moving your shoulder blades. We'll do that twice more, breathing in and exhaling to release last time. This time we're going to draw the shoulder blades back, and then you're going to draw your elbows right next to the side. So your elbows will bend, and then you'll release the arms and release the shoulder blades. So shoulder blades move first, and then the elbows bend. Again, watch the tendency of your rib cage here, and then release the arms, release the shoulder blades. We'll do that twice more. Maybe it'd be helpful to think of breathing into the back of the body here. Then we're just going to add in a little bit of rotation. So you're going to let your shoulder blades come together. Start to bend through one arm. So let's go through the right arm. Let the left arm be pulled around so that you're taken around to the right side. And then straighten that right arm out to bring you back to the center. Same thing to the other side. So you've released your shoulder blades. Now you can start to pinch them together with your breath in. And then be pulled around to the left side by bending the left elbow. And then straighten that out. Let your shoulder blades draw apart. We'll do that again. So inhaling to draw the shoulder blades together. Keep breathing in as you turn by bending the elbow, and then exhale to release the arm, release the shoulder blades. Make sure you're growing up tall throughout. Inhaling to draw the shoulder blades, bend the elbow, turn around to the left side. Let's let your right arm be drawn. And then exhaling to come back to center, release the shoulder blades. We'll do that one more time to each side. Really nice. Okay. Hopefully you're still okay here. Notice my legs are still bent. I mean, you could have them out completely straight, but that just kind of limits the movement that you'll get for this next movement a little bit. So again, grow up nice and tall. And I want you to imagine now that you're like a flat piece of wood that's just standing upright. So that you're thinking about your spine being in one long line from your tail all the way out to the crown of the head. You're going to hold on nice and long with the arms and start to just lean back. And take a big deep breath in as you're leaning, and then exhale to come all the way back up. So what's really important here as you're leaning back is to think, excuse me, think about the length of your spine. So at no point do you want to allow any bending or collapsing to happen here. Keep leaning back and exhaling to come forward. We'll do that twice more. And then we're going to stay back with this next one. So inhaling back, see if you can still keep growing nice and tall. Turn your arms up so your palms are faced towards the ceiling. And see if you can do a few bicep curls here. So you might need to let a little bit of resistance go in your band, just so that you can get a nice curl here. But we're really challenging those lower and abdominals to keep us where we are in this lean back position as we just do a little curl with the arm here. So just do one more, and then straighten out the arms and lean back forward so that you come up tall. Let's do that one again. So you're inhaling, keep the length of the spine as you tip back. Really tuck those elbows in close so that you can do a few of your bicep curls here. Make sure your crown of your head's still reaching away from your sitting bones. We'll do 2 more bicep curls. And then grow up nice and tall again. Just rest your arms for a moment, rest the legs, give them a little shake. Okay, we're going to do the leaning back again. This time add in a little bit of rotation. So the rotation we've already done, but this time we're going to just challenge it by being in that leant back position. If it feels like you're struggling and working really, really hard back here, then don't lean back so far. You don't want this to feel like you're killing yourself. You just want it to feel like a little bit of challenge, a little bit of switching on going on through here to keep you upright. So hands again, holding on not too tightly onto your band. Arms are nice and long to begin with. Spine is really long as you start to lean back. You can even kind of send your feet into that band to give you a little bit more stability. And then start to draw the shoulder blades together and bend through the right arm to come over to that right side. Nice big deep breaths as you're exhaling. Draw the shoulder blades apart and come back up to the middle. Deep breath in. Start to lean back. Start to draw the shoulder blades together, and you're bending through the left elbow to come around to the left side. Just let your head turn with you. Come back to center. Shoulder blades draw apart as you come back up. I'm going to do that once more to each side. So leaning back, nice and tall. Draw shoulder blades together, bend through the right arm. Take your gaze around with you as you come to the right side, back to center. Shoulder blades draw apart and you come back up. Last time, leaning back. Shoulder blades draw together, bend through the left elbow, and you're coming back around, coming back up. Whew. All right, release that band. Give those legs a little shake here. Good work. And that's a bit of a challenge for this early in the morning, but should feel like you're nice and switched on through those lower abdominals. All right, I'm going to move my mat out of the way and grab my blocks here. And we're going to grab the TheraBand too and come all the way up to standing. So let me make sure that you can still see me. There we go. Cut off the top of my head. Maybe I'll just move me back a little bit. There we go. Okay, so you're going to take your right foot and step it onto your blocks. And actually, we want the left foot to be on into the band. So step your left foot into your band. Hopefully you don't hit your foot with your band like I've done. And then draw yourself up so that you're standing with one foot onto the block, one foot hanging off. And kind of, if you can, bring your resistance band up to your hip. And just see if you can start to drop your left foot into the TheraBand a little bit. So you're dropping that left foot down Really feel like it's sinking. And then start to kind of let your band pull you up to where your other foot is. So we're just kind of sinking the left foot and then drawing it up. Notice it's what's happening for you through the hips. So if we were to imagine that there was a little spirit level, you know, that thing that they use to measure whether a surface is level or not. It's got that little bubble in the center. If we were to put that spirit level right across from one point of your hip to the other, you can find your bony protrusions there on the front of your hip joints. If it was just to lie right across, you'd be seeing that little bubble kind of floating from one end to the other, right? As you're just doing this little movement up and then down. And then just allow your band to be let go and let your leg just kind of hang there for a moment. Let it hang, let it just feel like it can just drop down towards the floor. And then I want you to try to make those hip points even. So that's going to be way down for me. If I draw my foot up, and you can see that both of my soles of my feet are now together or on the same plane, and that my little spirit level would be right in the center if I had it lying across both hips. So from here, we're just going to start to take that foot forward out in front, point the toe, and then bring it back behind, point behind. So the challenge here is to keep my hips really stable as we're swinging that leg through. And if you have enough clearance, you could keep your toe pointed. I don't quite have enough, so I'm just going to let my foot relax as it's going through and point as it's going front and as it's going back. We'll just do that one more time. Good, and then just take a little break down. Let it rest that right leg. You might notice that this standing leg is getting a little bit of a workout. Come back up when you're ready, level out those hips, and we're going to go out to the side. So keep now your toe and your knee pointing forward, but have a little flex through your foot this time. Notice that I'm not hiking up through that left side as my left leg goes out. Keep those hips really level as you're lifting and lowering through that side. Last time, rest down again. And as you're looking down now, I just want you to make sure that your knee is bending over your first and second toes. Because what we're going to do next, you're actually going to take your foot out in front of you. Start to bend your knees so that you could step onto that foot and start to peel your right foot away from the blocks. And then step back up so that you're coming back up onto the blocks. So you're bending your right knee over your first and second toe. Really important to get that alignment, to step that foot down, peel your foot away, and then come back up. Just going to do that twice more. Make sure you're breathing throughout. Notice your balance for this one. Good. And then come back down. Have a little walk around, shake all of that out of the legs. Whew. And then grab your band and we'll do the other side. So left foot will be onto the blocks this time, right at the edge. So you don't want your blocks to tip over, but you want to have enough room to let your right foot hang off the side. Take your band over your right, or underneath your right foot. Come on up to being on the blocks. Hands can be onto the hips if that works for you. And we're just letting that foot get really heavy into the band. And then kind of pulling the band up. So you're feeling that the resistance is giving you a little bit of assistance here. To feel how one hip can drop as the leg drops. And then it lifts up as you kind of allow the band to lift it up. Notice I'm not as stable on this side, so notice if your two sides are different. And then drop the band down, just let that leg kind of hang for a moment, and then see if you can find an even and level spirit level here. And we'll start to take a little point forward and a point back. This leg needs a lot more work than the other side, I'm noticing for myself. It's a good thing to challenge the balance though. If you're having little wobbles, little shakes, that's absolutely okay. Because our body, it likes to be challenged in these different ways. And if you're correcting, you're making these natural corrections, that means that you're learning something. So that's actually a really good thing. Don't be afraid to, fall down or and pick yourself back up. That's a part of the learning process. Just do that one more time, pointing forward, pointing back, and then rest that down. Give yourself a little shake out on that side. And then we'll come back up and we'll do our sideways one. Oops, so I'm leaning over. I'm going to lose my balance, maybe. There we go. I'll reset and then just let that right leg go out to the side, keeping the hips really level here. So try to point your toes and your knee forward again. Do 2 more of these. Maybe breathing in as the leg goes out and exhaling as it comes back in. See if that kind of helps you. And then stepping down, noticing whether your toes, your knee is bending over your first and second toes. Really important for alignment here. So that when you come back up, start to bring your right foot in front. When you bend your left knee, golly, having lots of trouble on this side. You bend your left knee, it will come over the first and second toe, and you can start to peel your left foot away and then come back up. So you might want to take this a little bit slower if you're struggling like I am to really stabilize through that left leg. And just take it slow and kind of maybe do it in slow motion. See if that gives you the chance and the opportunity to really think of what's keeping you balanced and stable here, which is all of that beautiful structure of the foot that we've been looking at, inside, outside arch, and both the big and small toe. We'll just do that one more time. Beautiful. And then just have a little walk around, shaking everything out, shaking the shoulders, shaking the legs. Whew. And then coming down to seated, finding your cushions to make yourself as comfortable as possible here. So when you've done that, you've got yourself supported. I like to have my knees and my legs supported and something underneath me so that I can just feel really relaxed, and you can just allow the eyes to start to close down. Just start taking a couple of breaths. And we'll start with our body scan from the top, the crown of the head. Just bring all your attention and awareness there, noticing any sensations, lightness, heaviness, pain, lack of pain. Scanning on down through the face, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Scanning on down through the sides of the head, past the ears, the back of the head, past the back of the skull, back of the neck, front of the neck. Scanning on down through the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, and the hands. Scanning down through the front of the body, the chest, the abdomen, and the belly. Then back up through the spinal column, scanning down through the upper back, the mid back, and the lower back. So you're just noticing for any changes. So you scan through the upper body, now down into the lower body. Maybe it feels different compared to yesterday, or even from the top of the body. So scanning down through the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, and through to the feet. And then just starting to bring that awareness back to the breath coming in through the nose and out through the nose. And we'll have 5 minutes of silence. If counting your breath is useful to you, you can start from 1, go up to 10, and then come back to 1 again. so that you're going in a continuous cycle of counting 10 breaths. And we'll begin that 5 minutes of silence now. And then still with the eyes closed, just starting to think of someone in your life who is really supporting you at the moment so that you can spend a moment being really grateful and appreciative for that person or whatever it is that you feel like is supporting you and keeping you stable and able to really keep going. So just spending 30 seconds or so in this gratitude, this thankfulness. And then starting to bring your awareness back into the space around you, maybe just feeling with your fingers and textures. Taking a couple of big, deep breaths. And then opening your eyes, ready for your Tuesday ahead. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you back here at 7:30 again tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a great